Welcome. Well, it is a sad video, but I promise to cover Project Motorizing when it comes out. Although, let's get to the chase right away. I have already refunded the game after the 2 hours window that Steam grants you. Yeah, there is. It's not total garbage. Getting that out of the way too. But it's just not there. It's not what I expected, and still I like it, but it doesn't have the value to summarize it up front. It doesn't have the value that the price tag currently suggests it has. Let's go through it. It's unscripted, I'm just talking out of my memory here, and in the background you will see some AI racing with the MX-5 Cup car on the Nürburgring, and AI racing with the IMSA GTO Quattro on Spa-Francorchamps. Especially those two tracks, because I have real life experience driving on those two tracks, and I like to judge a new sim always with my real experience and not with how I drive in other sims, because everyone works a bit different, and really the final judgment for me is what I feel matches reality best, which might be different for other people. Also, people drive differently in real life. So yeah, I always like to judge things for myself and not just believe someone's telling something somewhere, whatever. Anyway, and finally you also see a bit of online racing also in Spa-Francorchamps, where I drove an NGT Mosler against some random folk on the internet. Yeah. Let's start with the good things. It is immersive to drive, and I have no performance issues. I can run the game on ultra settings on the PC. I have an AMD CPU, I have an AMD graphics card. It runs smoothly in 4K, it has no stutters, at least not that I noticed them during driving. It is smooth, and it has a lot of tiny immersive things that make you feel more let's say in the fantasy of driving. The sound design is awesome. There are small vibrating things along the car, bits and pieces flying off from the road. It makes you feel good driving it when you are in a good car, though. I have to add that, because the force feedback takes a bit of dialing in, setting it up, and then still some cars don't really feel intuitive, while other cars feel really intuitive and feel nice to drive. And yet other cars feel intuitive to drive as long as you are under the limit, but it doesn't feel intuitive to catch them when you are over the limit. Very similar to AC Rally, I would say. And then we have to talk about the AI, because honestly my hope was that this would be itching this desire for a proper single player sim, where you have career, where you don't always need to wait in a lobby for other people to get online, where half the field drops out because they can't race for the win, and you have to wait for 30 minutes in menus because some people have to connect and shit. Just race when you have the time to race and want to race with good feeling. That requires good AI. I think it has been mentioned by many others before. The AI doesn't seem to really aware of you in many cars. They drive into you. Not always, but in some corners where you think like, yeah, definitely I could, he should have seen me or she should have seen me, and not steer directly into me, and then you get crashed in the side. Which gets made worse by two other things: the penalty system, which is nice that you get penalties if you cut track limits, but it doesn't consider if you already lost time. If you made a mistake and spun out, 2 seconds time penalty. If an opponent hits you, and because of that you have a track limit violation, 2 seconds penalty. That feels just like unfair, and my plan was to race authentic career with no resets, no going back and stuff, and that it wouldn't be fun. Yeah. Going on, I thought like, well, if the single player is not there yet, maybe the multiplayer is, as it placed itself as a direct iRacing competitor with a much smaller upfront fee. So I hopped into a multiplayer race, which took a lot of time to load. And then there were issues with connectivity, there were issues with cars jumping, jittering around, which made it a bit unsafe to do proper door-to-door racing. And then the worst thing was there were cars just standing in the middle of the road. I think those people disconnected or something, but if you're in a fast section of Spa on the back straight after Eau Rouge, and you're hammering down that straight with 300 kph, and then there's a car in the middle of the road parking, and that throughout the whole race it didn't disappear, it didn't ghost, nothing. Yeah, that's a problem for multiplayer, I think. So yeah, it is. You probably hear it in my voice. I'm quite disappointed with this because I had quite a lot of hope for it from what was promised, and honestly, it is not bad. It reminds me a lot of AC Rally. That it shows so much potential for being great, but it's just not there yet. And while I said with AC Rally, it's not great, it's not terrible, but yeah, for early access, okay. This is not early access. This gets sold for $70 as a complete and finished product, which, in my opinion, it is not. So, admittedly, my review is not very valuable with such limited testing time, but I didn't want to commit to the full $70 for this, so I pulled the trigger and refunded the game to see, yeah, how it develops over a few months. As an early access title, I could see that as a great launch. If this would have launched like for $20 in early access, I would say, wow, super nice first impression for an early access title. Let's see where this is going. But that's not the case, is it? And maybe it's also bad timing, because for me this year for racing sims has been quite the disappointment, to be honest. With EA killing off Codemasters, with AC Rally first bringing up hopes and then having still a lot of issues with force feedback and the physics in places. Oh, have I touched the force feedback? Some cars in the PMR also drive horrible, and I have no clue why and how to fix that. I digress. Yeah, it's been a chain of disappointments, so to say. Okay. There are good things here. I like the feeling of driving. I like how immersive it is. And honestly, if you just want to go hot lapping, it would be quite nice, a hot lapping simulator. But if you want to race against AI, I feel like that would frustrate me currently. If you want to race against humans, I feel that would frustrate me currently. Is it worth $70 for me in this state? No, it is not. If the development gets it done, or if there comes some chance that I can get it for $20, I will probably get it back, because it was fun, especially driving that GTO Quattro around Spa. That was quite a hell of fun, but not for that value. There are other things to be had in this value category, the sim racing market is quite competitive. It is not so starved out as the rally side of things or the off-road side of things, which yeah, it's good for the circuit races, but if you know my channel, I'm more of a rally person. But still, the immersive factor was nice here. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out. I think I have said what needs to be said. Yeah, I will do another video in some title that I feel like when I feel like. Cheers. Have a nice day.